students, welcome to Science Learning Gateway. I hope you all are doing good. So today we will continue with the same chapter of class 8 science, that is chapter number 7, the world of microbes. Part 1 of this chapter, in which I have covered the few topics of this chapter that I have already uploaded. This will be the part 2 of this chapter, in which we will complete the full chapter in this video. So let's continue with the chapter, the world of microbes. Before starting, guys, I have a small request from you all. If you really like this video or tutorial, then please click on the like button, and this will motivate me to create more helpful video for more helpful content for your studies. And if you need any other help, then also you can comment in the comment section. I will do that for you. And if you have any doubt, then also you can comment in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubt. So let's move our discussion with this chapter, the world of microbes. In this chapter, basically we have read about the microbes, about the bacteria and viruses we have read. Our next topic will be protozoa. About Louis Pasteur we have read, Swan neck flask experiment. Then the next scientist was Robert Koch. About him also we have read in this chapter. Then we have read about the bacteria and its different and the 4 types of bacteria, 4 shapes of bacteria. Bacterial cell we have read, and about viruses also we have read. Next, our next topic is bacteriophage. It is a type of virus which infect bacteria. Okay, so now we'll look at the structure of the bacteriophage. The diagram is important from your exam point of view, so you should practice this diagram. This is a bacteriophage. It's a type of virus which affects bacteria. You should remember it is a type of virus, bacteriophage, which affect bacteria. It is having a head. Okay, at the top part you can see the head. In the head, DNA is present. DNA is a genetic material which is present in the head of the bacteriophage. After that, it has a neck, and this round like structure is called the collar. After that, this tube type of sheath type of structure you can see, this is the sheath. After that, we have the tail fibers, and at the end some plate like structure is present which is called the base plate. So this is the structure of bacteriophage. As we have neck in our body, like that only it is having a neck, and you all wear shirts. In the shirts, collars are present. That's why after the neck it is having a collar, and after that a tube like structure is present, that is called a sheath, and at the end it is having the base plate. Okay, at the end it is having the base plate which is used to attach the bacteriophage, means which is used to attack this virus with the bacterial cell. Next, it is having the tail fibers. You can see the tail like structure. These are called the tail fibers. It is a head region containing the genetic material DNA. Okay, this bacteriophage will contain the genetic material DNA. Only DNA will be present over there. And the full form of DNA is, in the last tutorial I have told you that full form of DNA. So those who knows the answer, what is the full form of DNA, they can comment in the comment section, so that I will also know that you are understanding the chapter or not. So if you know the full form of DNA, then comment in the comment section. Collar region contains protein sheath. This collar region, it contains the protein sheath. Okay, which passes, it has a tail which is hollow tube through which the nucleic acid passes during the infection. These tails you can see, it is like a hollow tube, like a tube. It is having hollow in the centers. Through these tubes only nucleic acid will pass during the infection. When it will infect any bacteria, then that time the nucleic acid will pass through these tubes only. This base plate is used to attach the bacteriophage with the bacterial cell. Okay, it is used to attach it with the bacterial cell. So this is the diagram of bacteriophage. Our next topic is protozoa. So protozoa is also a type of microorganism which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. Protozoas are unicellular eukaryotes. Unicellular means they are made up of one cell. Eukaryote means they are having a well-defined nucleus. Okay, they are having a well-defined nucleus, and it is made up of only one cell. Protozoas can be seen in moist habitats. Habitats means their home, where they can be present. Moist, some water must be present in that place where protozoas are present. Free living species inhabitant freshwater and marine environment. Where they can be present in the freshwater, in the marine environments also they can be present, and even on the land or the soil also these can be present. Some species are parasites of the plants and animals. Okay, some used to live in plants or animals as a parasites, means they obtain their food and they used to get the shelter in the plants and animals. Okay, so this was all about your protozoa. Next, Next point is what? Protozoa species are aerobic. We have two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. The protozoa species are aerobic. Aerobic respiration, aerobic means which uses oxygen, which uses it, that process of respiration will take place in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration means it will take place in the absence of oxygen. So protozoa needs oxygen for the respiration, but anaerobic species have been found in human intestine and animal rumen. But some of the protozoans which are present in the human intestine and animals body, animal driven means animal's body, then their anaerobic also means they do not use oxygen for respiration. They have a cell membrane, like we have read in the plant cell that in animal cell that cell membrane is present, outer covering, like that plant protozoa will also have a cell membrane. Many protozoa species move independently by one of the three types of locomotory organelles. But how do these protozoa can move? They don't have legs, right? So how they will move? They will move with the help of these organelles called flagella, cilia, or pseudopodia. These are the locomotory organelles. Locomotory means they help in the movement of the protozoa. They can move with the help of flagella also. In some protozoa, cilia are present. With that also they can move, and in some protozoa, pseudopodia is present. The pronunciation of this will be pseudopodia. P is silent over there. So through these locomotory organelles, they can move from one place to another place. Protozoa reproduce by asexual method. So there are two types of reproduction: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, two parents are needed, and in asexual reproduction, single parent is needed, and in sexual reproduction, two parents are needed. So protozoa reproduce by asexual method means only one parent will be needed over there. Sexual reproduction has been observed in several species, but many of the protozoa can reproduce by sexual methods also, where two parents will be needed. So these are the examples of protozoa: amoeba, euglena, and paramecium. You can see in amoeba these structures, these are called pseudopodia. With the help of this pseudopodia, they can move also, and they can capture the food also with the help of pseudopodia. Next, in euglena, cilia helps in the movement of protozoa. Euglena is also a type of protozoa, and they can move with the help of cilia. This cilia will be present all over their body, like hair-like structures or hair-like projections. Next one is our paramecium. So how this paramecium will move? This is your euglena. First one is amoeba. Second one is paramecium. This is the structure of paramecium. Paramecium is having cilia all over its body, which help in the movement of paramecium. And the last one is our euglena. One long thread-like structure you can see in this diagram. The name of this structure is flagellum. The flagellum helps in the movement of euglena. So this question can come. Name the locomotory organs in amoeba. Then you have to write over there pseudopodia. Name the locomotory organ in a paramecium, or by which structure or by which organelle paramecium can move. Then you have to write cilia. And name the structure of through which euglena can move. Then you have to write flagellum. So you have to practice the diagrams of these three structures also. They are important from your exam point of view. Amoeba's shape, you can see it is not having any definite shape. Means its shape is like it can take any shape by its movement. They don't have any definite shape. And what are the things present in that diagram? This is the food. By the pseudopodia, it is capturing the food, and the food will go inside the body of the amoeba through the help of cell membrane. This is food vacuole. Inside the food vacuole, digestion of food will take place. Cytoplasm, the liquid matrix which is present inside the amoeba's body is called cytoplasm. Then it is having a cell membrane. The outer covering is the cell membrane, and the center structure is called the nucleus. All the vital activities will be carried out by this nucleus. And one small round-like structure is called contractile vacuole. Excretes water and waste. This vacuole, what is the function of this one? It will excrete the waste material and the excess water. So this is the diagram of your amoeba, structure of amoeba. So in structure of amoeba, what we have read, it doesn't have any definite shape. It has finger-like projections called pseudopodia. These structures, finger-like projections called pseudopodia, which help in the movement of amoeba. They help in nutrition and locomotion. They also help in nutrition. How they are helping in nutrition? By capturing the food. Through this only the food will enter into the amoeba's body. So what is the function of pseudopodia? They help in nutrition and locomotion. Locomotion means movement from one place to another place. An outer cell membrane encloses cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is differentiated in two places. You can see one cell membrane is there, outer covering. Inside the cell membrane, cytoplasm is present. Over there, we have two types of cytoplasm, ectoplasm and endoplasm. Ecto means outside. So ectoplasm, outer, clear and transparent portion. The cytoplasm which will be present outside, which is clear and transparent, is called ectoplasm. And endoplasm means inner, viscous, translucent and granular part. The cytoplasm which will be present inside the cell membrane is called endoplasm, and it contains various types of organelles like nucleus, food vacuole is present, different types of organelles will be present in endoplasm, and its color is also dark because of the reserved food materials and food vacuoles. There is a nucleus in the center which controls all the metabolic activities of the organism. You can see the structure of the nucleus. It will control all the activities, all the vital activities of this amoeba. So this is the structure of amoeba. You should practice the diagram of amoeba, and if you know the diagram of amoeba, you can write the answer with your own also. What are the things present over there? You can write, you can frame the sentence and you can write. Next microorganism is algae. Algae are also unicellular. It can be unicellular or it can be multicellular. Unicellular, single celled, multicellular, many cell. Eukaryotes means they have a definite nucleus which can carry out photosynthesis. See, if algae can carry out photosynthesis, means they can make their own food by the help of photosynthesis. If they can carry out photosynthesis, must have chlorophyll inside their body. So these are the features of algae: unicellular or multicellular, eukaryotes which can carry out photosynthesis. Like plants can make their own food, like that only algae can also make their own food. Where we can get the algae? They can be present in water, in damp soil or on rocks. How they will reproduce? They can reproduce both by asexual and sexual method. Now, what are the examples of algae? At least two examples of algae you should know: Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Spirogyra, Ulothrix. So any three you can remember, or any two example of algae you can remember. Chlamydomonas, Volvox and Spirogyra. These are easy that you can remember. Next, you can look at the diagrams. This is the diagram of Chlamydomonas, Volvox. This is Ulothrix, Spirogyra, Eudogonium, diatoms. And this diagram of Chlamydomonas they have given in detail. In this, they have given all the structures. Labeling is also done. See, the thread-like structure is called the flagellum, which help in the movement of this algae. Next, we have the contractile vacuoles, which secretes the excess water and the waste product. Eye spot is present over there. This center nucleus is present, which will carry out all the vital activities of this Chlamydomonas. Mitochondria, which is known as the powerhouse of the cell. We have read about this in that chapter number 5, study of cell. This is also present, which will provide energy for carrying out different activities. Golgi apparatus is present. Chloroplast, which contains the green color pigment called chlorophyll. By the help of that, it can make food by the help of photosynthesis. Starch granules are present. Prenoids are present. Prenoids surrounded by starch granules. So this is the structure of your Chlamydomonas. Now we'll read this structure of Chlamydomonas once. Chlamydomonas is unicellular, means it will be made of only one cell. See, this Chlamydomonas is unicellular, but then also so many cell organelles are present inside that. It is oval or spherical in shape. The cell is surrounded by a cell wall made up of cellulose or pectin. See this, like in plant cell we have the cell wall. In algae also, or in this Chlamydomonas also, cell wall is present, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose or pectin. Inside the cell wall is a cell membrane. After that, second layer is called the cell membrane, which includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus. The liquid thing which will be present inside that, it's called cytoplasm, and one center round like structure present, that is called nucleus. In the cytoplasm there is a large cup shaped chloroplast with one or more prenoids which store food. Okay, next you have seen this one. It is having a chloroplast. So this one is chloroplast and it is having a prenoid. This is prenoid, and what is the function of this prenoid? It will store the food. For the Chlamydomonas, food is stored in the prenoid. To the lateral side of chloroplast, there is an orange or reddish colored structure called stigma or eye spot. This pinkish or reddish type of structure is called the eye spot, and it is a photoreceptor. Photoreceptor means it will receive the light. Flagella are thin protoplasmic thread-like structure originated from the basal granules. Below the basal granule, contractile vacuoles are present. This flagella, the thread-like structures which are present in this one, they will help in the movement of this Chlamydomonas, and after that we have the contractile vacuole, which will excrete the excess water or waste material. Now, one activity is given over there. Okay, in this, what we have to do, we have to take one bread. Okay, and in that bread we have to sprinkle few drops of water, and we have to leave that bread. We have to cover that bread with a plastic bag and leave it for 3 days. After 3 days, when we will open that plastic wrapper, what we will see, we can see the blackish or grayish or blue which type of structure on that bread. The color of the bread from white, it will change into black, brown, something like that. And what are these structures called? These are the fungi which have developed on that bread, and these are called bread molds. Okay, these are called bread mold. These are the types of fungi and they will be present on the bread. Okay, if you look under the microscope, you will look at its structure very clearly. Now we'll start with fungi. It is another type of microorganism. Okay, what are the examples of fungi? Mushroom, which we eat, molds, that bread mold. Just now I told you that if you sprinkle some water in the bread and leave it for 3 or 4 days, by covering it with a plastic wrapper, you'll see that bread molds will grow on that bread. And yeast, these are all eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic means they have a well-defined nucleus in their body. Most fungi are multicellular, made up of many cells, and cell wall is composed of chitin. They have cell wall also, like plants they have cell wall, like that fungi will also have a cell wall, and the cell wall will be made of chitin. They obtain nutrients by absorbing organic material from the dead and decaying matter. So how do they get the food? They will get the food from the dead and decaying matter. They will grow on dead and decaying matter, and they will obtain their food or nutrients from the dead and decaying matter. So they are called saprophytes. So what are saprophytes? Saprophytes are those organisms which grow on dead and decaying matter and obtain their nutrients from that. Those are called saprophytes. So fungi are also saprophytes because they grow on dead and decaying matter. For example, mushroom. Many of you have seen, I think, mushroom, the cultivation of mushroom. When the people used to grow mushroom, they used to grow the mushroom on the dead and decaying matter. They need some soil and some humus and the dead remains of the plants and animals that they used to take, that on that soil only mushrooms will grow. So mushrooms will grow on dead and on the woods also. The woods which are very old, if they will be placed in the in outside your house or in garden, then you can see if water will come, if rainwater will come, you can see that small mushroom type of structures can be present on that wood particles also. Those are not used for eating. So mushrooms will grow on that wood logs also. They form characteristic filamentous tubes called hyphae. Okay, in fungi they can form a structure called hyphae that help to absorb nutrients. So in fungi, one filamentous structure, filament-like structures are present called hyphae, which help to absorb the nutrients. The collection of hyphae is called mycelium. You can underline this one in your textbook. This question is generally asked, what is mycelium? Then you can say that collection of hyphae is called mycelium. Fungi reproduce by spore formation. Spore formation is one of the method of asexual reproduction in which single parent is needed. So fungi will reproduce by which method? It will reproduce by spore formation. Now look at the diagram over there. This is a diagram of a rhizopus bread mold. When you sprinkle water in the bread and it will change into black or brown color, these are the bread mold type of structure. When you look at the microscope, it will look like that. See, this is a piece of a bread. Its color has changed so much. B is your Aspergillus, black mold. This is black mold. Okay, and the penicillium. This is penicillium. Diagram number C is penicillium, blue mold, and the yeast, Saccharomyces. This one is also one of the type of fungi. Structure of yeast. Structure of Aspergillus. Now this B structure. This one. See, this is the spore. When round like structure is spore, and when it will burst, this round type of spore type of things will come out from it. Aspergillus occur over a wide range of substrata. The mycelium forms a dense mass on the substrata. Hyphae are branched septate with uni or multinucleate cells. Most species produce a characteristic pigment which gives color to the fungus. See this one, Aspergillus. They carry some pigment. They have some pigment because of which the fungus looks colored. And the hyphae, this one, the hyphae tube-like structure, it can be branched septate with uni or multinucleate cells, and the mycelium forms when the hyphae will collect together. Group of hyphae is called mycelium. They form a dense mass of substrata. So this is a diagram of your Aspergillus. Structure of yeast. This diagram we will discuss now. Yeast. Yeast are the oldest cultivated microorganism commonly found in media rich in sugar or in organic matter. So where do we get that yeast? Generally it is found, yeast will grow in which medium? In sugar or in organic matter. They need sugar or organic matter to grow. Look at the figure 6. It is unicellular, made up of single cell. Cell is elliptical and eukaryotic. Elliptical means elliptical. You can see the diagram, its shape. This is called the elliptical shape, and it is eukaryotic, having a well-defined nucleus. Outermost cell wall is made up of chitin. It is also having a cell wall which is made up of chitin. Inner to the cell wall we have cell membrane. Cell membrane is also present. Other cell organelles are endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, mitochondria, vacuoles, Golgi apparatus, and nucleus. All the cell organelles will be present in the cell of yeast. In the diagram of yeast, all the cell organelles can be present. Next, now we'll read about the diseases which are caused by the microbes. Some of the microbes we know that they are good for health, good for us, but many of the microbes are harmful. They cause many infectious diseases. If we will not maintain hygiene for us, then we can suffer from many of the microbial diseases. Now we'll discuss one by one. This table is very important. Okay, so you should remember, you should learn this table. Any question can come from this table. Okay, the first one, what we have, name of the disease. Suppose if anybody is suffering from influenza. About influenza you have heard, I think so. Influenza is a disease, okay, and it is caused by which microbe? It is caused by influenza virus. See, the name, from the name only you have to write influenza will be caused by influenza virus. What are the symptoms of disease? Suppose somebody is having this disease, influenza. What will be the symptoms? How we can know that he is suffering from influenza? Chill. He will feel very cold, and fever will be there, temperature will be increased, sore throat. In the neck area also he will not feel comfortable. It will be little sore. Cough will be there, muscle pain. In the body's pain will be there, and severe headache. And he will also have headache. So these are the symptoms of the disease influenza. At least 2 or 3 symptoms you should remember. Next, mode of transmission. How this disease can be transferred from one person to the other person. Air. Through air it can transmit. Through air the microbes can travel from one place to another place. This influenza virus, they can travel through air. Contaminated hand. Suppose a person is having influenza. If he will shake his hand with other person, then through his hands also these microbes can travel. Through handkerchiefs, through hankies also this disease can spread. So these are the modes of symptoms. Preventive measures. How we can prevent the disease influenza? Avoid being close to the infected person. We should not go close to the infected person. This is the first method. Do not touch the nose and eyes with contaminated hands. Means before touching the eyes and nose, we should always wash our hands. We should not touch our hands with the help of our contaminated hands. Okay. Next is cholera. Cholera is a disease which is caused by the Vibrio cholerae. Okay, it is caused by one of the virus called Vibrio cholerae. Cholera, Vibrio cholerae. Symptoms: vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration, and stomach pain. These are the symptoms of cholera. And how this disease can be transmitted? Through contaminated food and water. If somebody will eat some contaminated food in which this virus will be present, then he or she will get that disease. And how we can avoid this cholera disease? Avoid eating and drinking contaminated food and water. We should not drink and eat contaminated food and water. And next one is vaccination. If we will take the vaccination for cholera, then we will not suffer from the disease cholera. This question is there in your textbooks also. Write any 2 measures to prevent, how we can prevent cholera. Then you have to write these measures. Next is our malaria. You all know about malaria. What is malaria? It is caused by Plasmodium vivax. Okay, it is caused by Plasmodium vivax. And who used to carry this Plasmodium vivax? It is caused by the bite of female Anopheles mosquito. Now, what are the symptoms of this malaria disease? Reoccurring fever. Okay, fever will occur after every 2 or 3 days. Chills will be there. He will feel very cold. Headache will be there. Muscle pain, tiredness, stomach pain will be there. Nausea and vomiting. These are the symptoms. 2 to 3 symptoms you can remember for the malaria, and it is caused by which microbe? Plasmodium vivax. This is very important. Plasmodium vivax. And how it is transmitted? How the malaria is transmitted? Bite of Anopheles mosquito. This female Anopheles mosquito, it is the carrier of the disease. This mosquito will carry this Plasmodium vivax in its body, and if this mosquito will bite any person, then that person will suffer from malaria. Bite of female Anopheles mosquito. Now, how we can control this for malaria? By taking vaccination. Controlling mosquito population means if we will use that good nights and all outs, or use the mosquito nets, then also we can control. And by spraying that DDT is also used for killing the mosquitoes. Use of mosquito curtains are advised. Okay, so these are the methods by which we can prevent malaria. Next one is aspergillosis. Aspergillosis. It is caused by Aspergillus niger. From the name you can understand, Aspergillus niger. What are the symptoms? Cough, fever, chest pain and difficulty in breathing. These are the symptoms of aspergillosis. And how it is transmitted? Spreads by inhaling spores of Aspergillus niger. Suppose some spores of aspergillus will be there over there. If somebody will inhale those spores, then they can suffer from that disease. And how we can prevent this aspergillosis? Avoid dusty and unhygienic places. We should avoid going to any dusty or unhygienic places. Then only we can suffer, we can get relief from this aspergillosis disease. Now, cultivation of microbes. Many places microbes are also cultivated because they are useful also, so they are cultivated. So generally they are grown in artificial media under controlled laboratory condition. In the laboratory, in the labs, these microbes are grown in artificial media, means they should get the proper environment, temperature and condition, then only the microbes can grow. Artificial culture media. How the culture media is prepared? A culture medium is an environment which supplies the ingredients necessary for the growth of an organism. So what is culture media? Artificial culture media. It is prepared by the man. Okay, and in that all the necessary conditions are given to that microbe so that it will grow. Various kinds of medias are used in the laboratory to grow, isolate and identify an organism. Depending on the need to isolate and identify a particular organism from a particular sample or environment, different kinds of media are formulated. Now let's study one by one. See, for microorganism, and this is for culture media. For bacteria, which type of culture media is used? Nutrient agar, nutrient broth. And for fungi, MRBA, Martin Rose Bengal agar media, and potato, dextrose agar. For protozoa, nutrient broth media. For algae, Bristolus media, Benex media. And for virus, animal cells, chick embryo as sources for inoculation of sample. From this, questions will not be asked, but you should know for your knowledge what is artificial media. Microbes cause a number of diseases. Just now we have seen that number of diseases can be caused by microbes like influenza, cholera, malaria. Vaccine prevent microbial infection. But if we will take vaccines before that only, then those microbes cannot enter our body. If they will enter also, they cannot affect us. Vaccines are prepared from weakened or killed forms of microbes. How vaccines are prepared? They are prepared from the, if you want to take the cholera vaccine, then that cholera vaccine is prepared from the weakened or killed form of the cholera virus. Okay, Vibrio cholerae. Vaccines help us in developing immunity. If we will take vaccines, then our immunity will be strong. We cannot suffer from that disease. Example, polio vaccines. Nowadays, people they used to take that polio vaccine so that they will not get polio disease. DPT vaccine, they are also helpful in producing antibiotics. Example, streptomycin or penicillin. Okay, some of the vaccines, they also help to produce antibiotics. Examples are streptomycin and penicillin. DPT vaccine is given for three infectious diseases like diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. D for diphtheria, P for pertussis and T for tetanus. Antibiotics. Little bit you should know about antibiotics also. They are chemical substances produced by microorganisms which kill or inhibit growth of other microorganisms. Okay, this antibiotics, they are prepared from the microorganisms only, and they are used for what? They are used for killing or stopping the growth of other microorganisms. For example, we have penicillin as one of the antibiotic, and streptomycin is also one of the antibiotic. Any 2 or 3 antibiotic name you should remember. Penicillin and streptomycin is enough. These are used as antibiotics. So we have finished this chapter. Go through the video once and read your book once. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section so that I can clear your doubt. For question answer, I will make a separate video very soon so that you can go through the question answers video also, and you will learn this for your exams. Very soon you will have your exams also. Prepare for your exam well. And if you have any doubt, go through both the videos. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. And if you like this tutorial, then share it with your friends also. And if you are new to my channel, subscribe my channel and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Whenever I will be uploading a new video, you will get the notification for that. Thank you for watching my channel Science Learning Gateway. If this tutorial is helpful for you, then please like it and share it with your friends also. You can also connect with me through my Facebook page. The link I will give in the description box. Thank you for watching my channel.